I'm not the librarian, I'm the whole freaking library, kids! Inspiration is everywhere. It's online, it's in nature, it's in museums, it's in the crowds of humans surrounding you. And then sometimes inspiration strikes randomly when you are standing in line for a ride at Disney World and your partner, admiring the size of your pinafore pockets, asks, "What if the whole skirt was a pocket?" This make is dedicated to Matt. "Let's go outside," she said. "It'll be fun," she said. "Why is there so much noise?" Now, admittedly, this project has had several months to percolate, ruminate, morph like a loaf of bread consumed by mold. Because at some point I went from thinking, how can I turn a skirt into one or two giant pockets, to instead thinking, how many pockets can I get into one skirt? And that inevitably eventually led to thoughts of what's going to go in those pockets. I mean, we can't just have pointless pockets, right? We only have two hands, so what's going in pockets 3 through 75? 75 seems a bit extreme. Let's not set the bar that high. Being the person I am, I had one prompt answer: books. Ow. Of course, books. So now it is not just an as many pockets as possible in one skirt, it's a bookshelf skirt, theoretically, if this works at all. Because bookshelf, brain said wood, as in you should find a fabric that kind of looks like wood, but also I needed it to be fairly sturdy, I needed quite a lot of it, and I needed it to be at Remainders, because who are we kidding? Of course I'm just gonna go get something at Remainders. Luckily, their constantly changing selection never lets me down. I found this. Why is there so much fur on it? Not exactly straight up wood grain or anything, but like, I'm definitely being reminiscent of wood, yeah? Okay, good, we're all on board. This is a nice wooden bookshelf in fabric form. So how are we gonna do this? I would love to go straight to size of skirt, size of pockets, and therefore number of pockets. But I think the more important thing to consider first is actually weight. Weight of skirt, weight of pockets, weight of books. Let's go source a few materials from the pile. Not the fabric pile this time. This pile. There are obviously a few chunks here that like, sorry, darling, not this time. We have to be a little bit practical, but we don't necessarily need them to all be the same size. This should work for now. And speaking of books, I'm the queen of segues. Let's take a moment to talk about the sponsor of today's video, June's Journey. June loves books, so segue. If you like a bit of mystery, a bit of intrigue, a bit of something to do on your phone that's not doom scrolling social media, then do I have the perfect thing for you. June's Journey is a hidden object mystery game, free to download and play, I might add. We love free, taking you all over the world in the fabulous 1920s. We get to follow along on June's her journey. She's always going new places, as she uses her detective skills to solve murders and heists with her new friends and enemies that she meets along the way. I love popping into June's Journey because there's so many different things that you can do. You can play the main game, get into a new chapter of the story, or you can do one of the mini challenges on the side. Maybe a time challenge if you're feeling daring, or a deep dive into a character's backstory. Every bit of the game is so beautifully drawn and designed, and you can get in on that too, because you have an entire island of your own to fill with fun buildings and people and trees and flowers and animals and crops. I love the crops. Why do I love the crops so much? When I need to just chill for a moment, turn off my work brain, and let it just have a little bit of relaxing fun, June's Journey is the perfect getaway. Download June's Journey for free by clicking the link in my description below. June's Journey is available on Android and iOS mobile devices, as well as on PC through Facebook games. Now let's go make some book-holding pockets, shall we? June would absolutely love this skirt. Y'all, I randomly realized that I didn't actually drink my morning coffee and then I couldn't find it anywhere. It was outside. Naturally, my brain is screaming circle skirt. Not to worry, it's pretty much always screaming that on some level. But here's the thing. That would be big and able to hold a lot of books, and I don't even think that the curved edge would be that problematic. But a circle skirt collapses when you're just standing still in it and you're not wearing a petticoat. It turns into a cone, basically. Where'd I just leave my books? So if you have a bunch of rectangular blocks basically attached to the skirt, then I'm just not sure how well it would hang. Like all the books just might be overlapping each other and hitting each other and just turning into like a jumble down there. So I don't think I should do a circle skirt. I know, gasp. I'm also tempted to make the skirt floor length because then you have maximum book capacity, but that also seems not the smartest because the skirt is still definitely going to flare out. It's not going to be a pencil skirt. So now you're talking more books and the most weight on the least supported region. Speaking of which, I think it would be best to kind of taper the size of the pocket, or at least the size of the book that the pocket can hold as you go down. Like the natural feeling is that it should be small books on top, but I think it should actually be opposite of that. The largest pockets that are getting the most support from the waistband and from the hips should be at the top, and then the smallest, lightest ones should be at the bottom. Y'all, I honestly have no idea how this is gonna hang. I think I can get it supported well enough, but like it still just might be like, we shall see. So I'm gonna do a split side skirt because that means that I can have both sides of the waistband lace up independently of each other. And to me, that means like double the waist support, yeah? It will not be quick and easy to put on, but that's not really the point here. One does not just pop into your bookshelf skirt so you can run to the grocery store real fast. So like, it's fine. But how? Oh, that's actually a good point. Okay, let me take some measurements, draw some stuff, stare into space for a solid half hour, and then we'll come back to this. Well, you'll come back to it. I'll have been here. Futzing around actually turned into cutting stuff out pretty quickly, cause you know, might as well go for it. And at first I thought about putting 2 pleats in the top of each skirt panel for more volume. But that didn't seem like it would fall very nicely with the books on top, so I dumped that and went for a simple panel. Okay, this could work. Okay. Time to lose the cape. Then I just had to do some calculations to cut out the 3 bookshelves, so to speak. There's an idea. Hello? Where did you go? If you're gonna make marks this tiny, August. Oh, I found you. I found you. Ha. I made a mark, didn't I? No, of course I didn't. Okay, so one thing that I forgot to take into consideration is the width of books, because I was kind of thinking that the pieces that are forming the pockets on top maybe should be a little longer than the piece underneath so that there is some extension, you know? Does that make sense? But at the same time, I was afraid that if I do that, you'd end up with gaping. Like you almost need the pockets to be as tight as possible because of the weight that's going in them, so that they don't end up just like letting the books fall forward. I don't know. I don't know which of those is gonna work. But I pinned all around this top pocket how it should be sewn on eventually, and then put 3 various sized books in there. So let's see what happens. Yeah, see this? See how the heavy ones are like falling forward? That's exactly what I want to avoid happening too much. So I think I think this is actually fine. I think I shouldn't put any sort of extra material in the pockets. They need to be as tight as possible to the skirt underneath in order to keep the books from leaning too much. So I think that I am going to sew all of these pockets onto this. This could be the front or the back because there's nothing specific about it yet. But I think I just need to sew all the pockets on here and then fill it with books and hold it up and make sure that it's at least like halfway okay before I cut out the waistband or the other half of the skirt or anything. I need to know this works. Okay, let's go. Just a small boy, just a small boy. I love you. Though large and long, these are basically just patch pockets in style, so they're super straightforward to construct. Just takes a bit more time due to their size. Also, I'm throwing double seams on many places for extra strength and support. Hi my baby. Okay, so the first half is done and I just put it like with lots of pins on one of these like twill tape things so that I can try it because I don't want to attach it to a waistband yet. So now it's time to put books in all of the pockets and see what happens. Let's do it! I'm gonna have to go far away so you can see. And right at this exact moment, the mic that I was using died. Did I notice? Nope! Not until 2 days later, y'all. 2 days! So that sewing machine is gonna be really nice and quiet for the remainder of this video, and I will just be doing a little bit of lip reading for the moments that I talked to this specific mic, which should be great, because, well, I can't lip read, and I don't really remember what I said most of the time. Here we go! I look pretty dang thrilled with this result, so I probably said something like, "Wow, it's working!" And then I totally missed the puppy running in with his pom-pom here because one of the pins was stabbing me in the side. Decided to try it on, the back, and here I took note of how not bulky over the booty these books are. Grand. Hard to forget this moment. This skirt would look hilarious while twerking if only I knew how to twerk. Or something like that. And thank heavens we're back to the mic that has working batteries for a moment. More bad lip reading to come. All right, so that worked well enough that I feel comfortable cutting out a second one of exactly this, sewing it all together, and then from there I can decide which of these is the front panel. Do you have a pom-pom? Can I have it? Ready? Pom-pom! What was I saying? This took me several hours to cut out and sew, so that's what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of tonight. Round 2. I think I need an ice cream sandwich first, but then let's do this. Don't worry, you're not missing anything here. Those mouth movements are telling me that this was singing, not talking. By the time I got the second panel and pockets all cut out, it was getting late and I was more into swaying to the music than actually sewing, so we shall reconvene in the morn. Okay, done with that is maybe what I said, or okay, that took hours, or possibly, okay, Time for more pockets. If anyone watching actually reads lips, feel free to leave your educated guesses below. Y'all, this skirt is gonna be bulky, cause I am not holding back on the side seam pockets. First of all, I figured let's just go ahead and add some to the front half of the skirt with like that sort of pants style pocket opening. And that'll be on top of the more usual side seam pockets that I attach to the back half of any split side skirt. And then there's the purse pockets. Pockets inside of the pockets. This is a great opportunity to use up the scraps of fabric and just do whatever the heck you want. So I managed to get 3 extra pockets into each of the side seam pockets. And then I threw a few inner pockets on the front pockets too. I have now said pockets way too many times, and we still have a ways to go on this project, so buckle in for way too many more. So again, I can't really stress enough how easy it is to sew pockets like this. I know people have asked for a specific purse pocket tutorial, and maybe I'll get to that very detailed explanation at some point in the future, but for a quick rundown, you just have to hem the top of the pocket where it's gonna open so that you have a nice clean edge. And then I typically fold under the sides and stitch them down, unless there's a side of the inner pocket that lines up with the side of the bigger outer pocket, in which case you don't even need to finish the edge because it'll get sewn into that outer pocket eventually, yeah? Then I sew the smaller pocket onto the back of the bigger pocket, usually along the bottom, flipping it up, ironing as I go, then restitching around those 3 sides, leaving the top open for, you know, item insertion? That's it. You just keep doing that for each new pocket until you have a big ol' mass of pockets, and then you can construct the actual main pocket and stick that on the side of the back skirt panel. And I've gone over that in videos before, so meh. I really would not recommend putting this many layers of thick fabric into your pocket seams on any regular skirt. This is a special circumstance. I also wouldn't recommend running this many layers of fabric through a Singer fashion mate, but y'all look at her go. She may not look it, but she's a beast. And here's where we ended up. Back panel with those big side seam pockets, 3 extra pockets hidden inside each one, and front panel with its own plethora of pockets. Time to source some more books from the pile. Here I was saying how it was already getting kind of late and I was lacking the confidence to sew the 2 halves together on the side seams and actually see how it'll hang as one piece. So I'm probably gonna quit for the night and see if I gain the confidence while I sleep. But then I actually got the confidence to sew the sides together that night. Woo! 'Twas a lot of bulk in the machine, and of course this was the moment when I ran out of thread, always a joy. But I got it attached and then pinned both sides to some twill tape for another test. Flailing my hands blindly behind my back in the presence of so many pins? What daring. I'd say I'm excited, I seem pleased with the results, I'm actually gonna quit for the night now, and ooh, here's an exact lip reading because I remember saying it. Tomorrow is Waistband Day. Woo! The next morning was dreary as crap. June gloom is hitting us hard. Why is it so dark? That was a lip reading. A throat reading? I was talking to Matt about who knows what here, so ignore that. Also, I'm definitely talking with my mouth full anyway. Ew. I just can't not put footage in when the puppy is jumping this high. He is very passionate about the noms. Anyway, we persevered despite the desperate desire to curl up on the couch and do absolutely nothing all day. I started with the back half of the waistband that will lace in the front and be covered by the other half, because well, that seemed easier. Feels a little bit pointless to add interfacing to such a thick fabric, but I did it anyway. I'm gonna need all the help I can get here. My biggest concern was that I had in fact made both panels a little bit too big, as I so often end up doing. So I had experimented with a pleat again, which you may have seen in my last test, but ultimately decided to just do the slightest amount of gathering evenly across the top, and then fold over the ends of the pockets just a bit so that the whole thing would be the proper length. I was considering adding cable tie boning in places, but decided to try it without. Did some top stitching, added those grommets, and hey look, I have sound again! I kid you not, I did not charge this microphone. I still didn't even know it was dead. It just came back alive on its own after being dead for like 2 days straight. Worked for about 40 minutes, and then died again. Technology is clearly my favorite part of this job. But hey, it was alive and working when I tested that first waistband, so yay! Ooh. Feels pretty dang supportive. Let's do a quick test. I mean, that's like less than half the amount of books, but I barely noticed the weight change at all, so I think the support system is doing okay. On to the front waistband, which theoretically would be exactly the same, except I've got one more chance to add a couple pockets to this baby, and I'm gonna take it. I figured I could put 2 little welt pockets on the waistband itself, like little coin purses or something. I don't know, any tiny thing could go in there. Oh, there goes the mic again. Good thing we're just about done. Let's just get a few more grommets in there, and then hey, guess what? I finally noticed that the mic is dead. Y'all, this turned out so much better than I thought it would. I genuinely thought I would have to add wire or something to the hem, and no, like it's standing up, it's supporting weight, it's doing what I thought it would do. Ooh, little sneak peek in the mirror. But let's go take a look. Yeah? Yeah! Yay! When I start a project, even if it's kind of like a wild and out there one, I always imagine it turning out really well. You know, of course I'm gonna picture the best possible results. And then typically there's a point somewhere along the making process where I start to pare back my imaginary results so that I won't be disappointed. And the reality is that sometimes it doesn't turn out as well as I had hoped. Sometimes it doesn't even turn out as well as my be prepared to be disappointed imaginings from halfway through. This one, however, actually exceeded my original expectations. Yeah, I'm real happy about it. I just genuinely did not really think I would be able to store this many books in one skirt without them like leaning forward and trying to fall out, hanging weird, hitting each other, the whole skirt like slipping down and not being supported. But it worked! And it worked like better than I had hoped. I think it looks so good, and it wasn't going anywhere. I was moving all over the place. That skirt was staying in place. The books were staying in place. I could jump up and down okay, of course it's hard to move in. Of course, you can't really walk normally because your legs hit a bunch of books. You obviously can't sit in it if you've got a bunch of books on your butt. That's not the point. I knew you wouldn't be able to run a marathon in it. But it was can you move at least decently normally without books falling out everywhere you go? And yes you can. I spun in circles. I jumped up and down a little bit, just a little bit, and they all stayed in. And then I took it off. Yes. Actually, without the books in it, it's pretty comfortable too, especially because you don't have to lace it as tight. In preparation for the weight of the books, I was pretty much tight lacing. I was in that realm. It was, but if you just lace it up normally, you're not, carrying a library on your butt, then it's actually a really comfortable skirt. It just took me a pretty long time to film everything that I wanted to film, and I was quite hot. So yeah, that was enough of wearing that. But y'all, I'm not good at technology, nor am I really good at forming new habits. I switched shotgun mics recently. This is a shotgun mic, for those of you who don't know. I shan't say what it actually looks more like. My previous one ran off the camera battery, it just piggybacked onto that like a little parasite. Super handy for me. This one has its own power supply that has to be recharged, and the second I realized that, there was the little voice in my subconscious that whispered to me, "You're gonna forget to charge it." My subconscious is pretty much always right. Is this really, really bright? Why do I feel like it's so bright? Be a little less bright, but not that much less bright, just a little less bright. Perfection. Anyway, I figure some of you may be wondering how much this weighs and how much weight it was holding up. But unfortunately, our luggage scale has fallen into the black hole that everybody's home has somewhere inside. So currently I do not know. We ordered a new one. I will know by the time I'm editing. So here's how much the skirt weighs. Wow! The books I weighed on the kitchen scale, and the specific ones that I used when I was filling all the pockets, so that's 24 books, they weighed about 22 pounds. They could of course weigh a lot more than that, obviously that's an adjustable number. You are restricted by pocket size when it comes to book size, but the biggest one that I was getting in there was a decent sized book. It was Jane Eyre, and it's that's a very exact measurement. Honestly, I think you could store a solid 50 pounds of weight in this baby. I'm not saying it would be comfortable. I'm just saying possibly it would be possible. Okay, maybe more 35, but still. So that is that. I am very sleepy. Something about running around carrying your own mini library for a few hours makes you want to take a nap or sit on the couch and play June's Journey for a while. Don't forget, you can check out June's Journey for yourself by clicking the link in the description below, and thank you so much to June's Journey for sponsoring this video. May all your clothes have pockets and all your pockets be massive. Later, taters. Inspiration is everywhere. Bird. Ow! This one turned out. It's in nature, it's in museums, there's a loud plane going over. Why is this dress being so wonky today? Because it's oh good grief, it's loud.